Brandon's one of those guys that anytime he was on a show, he's got the potential to have the best match, and he is one of the biggest crowd favorites. He's a very exciting individual, and he's got it. He's had, I'm going to say it. He's House of Pain tough. He's got that House of Pain mentality that you and I broke into this business with. He's got the best of both worlds because he is tough, physical, and yet he can still do the high flying, the technical wrestling. I mean, and honestly, he's a total package.
Very well rounded, and as you heard, a chorus of high-pitched screeches. The young ladies here in Mount Storm.
I believe that's the boys of Mount Storm. I'm almost
is that
positive.
what it is?
I'm almost positive.
And there we go. TJay Sykes with his manager, Sillouette, making their way to the ring. A very charismatic champion. Leatherman, there's a look for you. Maybe you should dip your tips in some red dye.
I don't know if I can pull off that stringy thing. Oh, you mean his look? Oh, I thought you meant her outfit. No, I don't know. I went through my dreadlock phase. I don't do that anymore. So
TJay Sykes definitely just looking like he's having a good time, but I tell you what, Brandon Scott is nobody to be taken lightly, and it looks like TJay's having an awful good time.
I got to be honest with the machine. I think this bravado, it's a little bit of a psych job. He's making Brandon Scott wait. He is the man that is the champion, and he's going to do things on his own time. But I got to be honest with you, I truly believe when that bell rings, he can get it done as good as anybody. That's why this is such a great matchup, and I believe the show's still.
These fans seemed relatively split down the center during their entrance.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see the same people cheering for both guys. I think that they like them both, and I think it's because of the respect that they've earned for the quality of matches that they've put on. Although there's a few boo birds there.
That's true.
I'm a little surprised. Are we going to get a handshake? Are we going to get a handshake at the beginning of this thing? Is he going to go for it? There it is. I personally don't like it.
That wasn't really much of a handshake. That was more of a just a high five. Like, hey, good to see you here. Let's do this.
He almost lost that hammerlock, but boy, he was savvy enough to really get a hold of that wrist and take
Absolutely.
it in.
Wow. Beautiful.
Drop toe hold, floats over top. Do that front face lock, spins out to a hammerlock of his own.
I think getting hung up there on the float over may have given TJay just a bit of momentum there to be able to roll out and snap Mara into a nice chin lock.
Got to be honest, I think the hair would distract me if I was TJay. You see how I have to flip it back? I think it would distract my vision and everything, but, hey, he's a flashy kid.
Absolutely. Now, what do you think whenever you're holding a hold there, if your hair gets in your opponent's eyes? Because Brandon, in this case, has much shorter hair and never has to deal with that. Do you think that, here we go, Brandon Scott turning up the pace now. Beautiful float over there into a wrist lock.
He's got that wrist high and tight,
I'll tell you what, there's not a weak link in the chain of Brandon Scott, that's for sure.
To answer your question, it could be a distraction, and also it could shield TJay's face as well too from grimaces and things like that. Being able to see how much pain he's actually in. Oh, that was nice.
Beautiful little drop down. Kind of confused Brandon for a moment there.
I think he also alleviated some of that pressure of that wrist lock as well too by doing that.
Absolutely, a nice little nib up there and single leg. I think he caught the second leg for a double leg there. Beautiful headlock takeover from Brandon Scott. You see the snap and nice head scissor reversal.
The other thing, too, TJay went straight with his forearms to the head so that to keep his shoulders off the mat.
Wow.
This is a nice standoff. I like it, man. There's some close fists there. Let's see if he breaks it up here.
That was a beautifully executed exchange there.
See if tempers are going to start to fly here.
I'll tell you what, at this point, I can't pick somebody as far as the speed advantage. TJay, I think, is slightly larger man, but they were definitely on point. I think TJay knew Brandon's reputation coming in.
Oh, absolutely. These guys know who each other is. These guys know the respect. I mean, there it is. That's that respect. I look by the end of the match for that to be thrown out the window. I think you're going to see some punches thrown, but
you never know, especially in the Elite Pro Cruiserweight division. I mean, we've seen a lot of matches over the years that was the foundation was just the absolute fundamentals, and as you're seeing here, these guys both thinking 100 miles an hour and moving 1,000. Wow. Oh, and they hesitated. Brandon went for the punch. Both of them ducking. Wow.
Wow, they're both on the same page here trying to do the same thing.
And TJay slipping out get a little breather there. Both, you can see how evenly matched these guys are here.
And I think right there, that shows you the champion's mentality right there. The challenger wants to stay in the ring because he knows he can only win that title in the ring. The champion doesn't mind sliding out and taking that count because he knows he's got that championship advantage. That's a big, big point there.
Absolutely. Coming from you, it's leaps and bounds more than the average person being the heavyweight champion. But yes, TJay Sykes, I mean, he's got absolutely nothing to lose to go take a breather. He could literally take a walk right now.
He could take a walk. He'll lose the winner's share of the purse, but he's going to keep that gold and that title, and that's what it's about.
He's had that championship for several months now, so he's had his share of the purse so far. I'm sure that one match isn't going to make or break it. Well, Brandon with a nice sneaky knee there.
It was clean, though. It was clean.
But I tell you what, one thing I love about the style of Brandon Scott and TJay for that matter is there's no daylight. Yeah. When you see these guys get hands on somebody, you can't see air.
Yeah, and look how he's cupping the wrist and the forearms around the ears. That's very disorienting. It almost creates like a tunnel sound wherever you're boggled up a little bit. Oh, wow!
Wow! And they both go to the floor.
We could have a double knockout here. This could be a double knockout. That was vicious.
Wow! Both of them had the same idea.
God, they both are so hard. And once again, TJay's got the advantage. He's got his manager out there. He's got Sillouette out there talking to him, trying to help him get more and more, acclimated back into it. That was
Sean Fitzgerald at this point out there checking on both men.
That was scary. I like the referee here. I appreciate what the referee's doing. He's not laying down a count. The title's on the line. He doesn't want to cheat the fans out of a short double count out. He's letting these guys recover and get back in the ring. I appreciate that.
And what a very unexpected maneuver. Both of them thinking the same again. Big kick there.
Wow! Oh no, he landed rough there.
Very awkward, like on the almost kidney and the hip area.
Yes. Kind of had his knee bent under there too, man. I tell you.
Drives that forearm in. Snapmare.
Oh.
Big kick to the back. Lateral press now. The champion not thinking to hook that leg. Brandon out the back door at a 1.
He gave him just enough daylight to do it.
I'll tell you what, over the years of watching and calling Brandon Scott's matches, I mean, you're not going to blow this guy up, so what you need to do is put enough damage in to put him down. And right now, Brandon firing that big forearm off in a snapmare.
Rolls through. Big kick. Wow.
Right across what looked like the face.
Oh, the big swinging neck breaker. Man, he got so much momentum behind it, and he's going up to the second rope here.
Brandon definitely turned the intensity level up here.
TJay's really holding on to that neck here. Brandon's wasting a lot of time. Wow.
Wow, beautiful fist drop from the second
leg. He didn't hook the leg again. I think he made 2 mistakes there. He wasted way too much time posturing to the crowd, and he didn't hook that leg.
He had a beautiful series of moves there, ended with that unbelievable fist drop there. I don't know anybody else that can do it quite like that, or even try, much less.
Looked a little like throwback to Ted DiBiase there a little bit. I loved it.
Brandon Scott.
There's a closed fist. That may be the first illegal move that we've seen. And once again, I can't shake my head about throwing a closed fist. I've thrown a few taters in my life.
Known as the club. Brandon Scott there fired that right hand off. You can see a little swelling on the forehead there of TJay Sykes. There we go. Now sunk down in the corner there.
TJay's losing some of his gear there.
Ow.
Wow. That was impact, and he is holding that back.
Brandon Scott taking every pound of his own body weight, slinging it to the floor for some added leverage.
And that's a couple blows now that have gone in that spinal area of TJay Sykes, starting with that spinning neck breaker, and now that big shot to the back. And there it is again.
Another beautiful face bump there from Brandon to get every ounce of that momentum and energy into that whip. Hard buckle.
Brandon Scott, I like the pacing here. I like what he's doing. Earlier I got on him about not following up fast enough, but right here I kind of like the fact that he's looking at his man. He's figured out what he needs to do, take him apart. It's 3 in a row. Oh!
Big clothesline. I think he almost used the momentum of hitting the buckle and coming out. You can hear that scream. Oh, lateral press. Nice hook of the leg, but just wasn't enough.
And I don't want to say that was a desperation clothesline, but he needed something, and he needed something now. It's a big move. That was a game changer.
Almost as if he channeled the pain of taking the hard buckle the 3rd time in a row into the clothesline, because he came out screaming. Brandon Scott put the brakes on there, and he hooked the rope this time. He's definitely trying to break the momentum now after that clothesline. TJay follows him in.
Wow!
Backflip to the floor.
And that was a hard landing.
You could hear that landing on this hard floor. There is no protective padding around the ring here at Elite Pro.
I'm a little surprised here. TJay going outside the ring after him. If I were in there, I would make Brandon Scott get back in that ring. I'd let the referee start that 10 count, and I would stay back and let it happen. That's what I would have done, but I think TJay knows a win against Brandon Scott's a nice feather in his cap, even though he's already the champion.
Oh, hard knife edge. Looked like he stung his own hand there.
Is he hooking him for a pile driver?
It looks like it.
Wow, a pile driver on the floor. He blocks it twice. Oh, wow, a big backdrop onto the floor. And that is, once again, Machine, he's already taken 3 hard turnbuckles in that back. Now that backdrop on the floor. It's a very focused attack by Brandon. Started with the double headbutt that kind of crunched the neck. Then he did the spinning neck breaker. Right back to those 3 buckles to the back, and now that big backdrop onto the floor. He's staying in that neck and that back area. This is good sound strategy by Brandon Scott.
The champion's still down from our vantage point. Brandon Scott maybe.
Once again, the referee's
going out to check on him now. That backdrop may have.
Now Brandon's doing the right thing here. Brandon, the fans, whether they like it or don't like it, he's got to get him back in that ring. I don't like this at all. I would have thrown him back in that ring, and I would have gone for a cover right there. And there's why.
Wow, and
that's why.
I thought at that moment he may have been playing a little possum there. I mean, we've seen what's happened to him, but it looked like that pole was the only thing keeping him up, and he moved at just the last split second there. Brandon Scott takes that face first into that steel post.
And that ring moved. He hit that pole, and that ring shifted.
You can see the concern on the face of the ringside fans there as they saw the impact. TJay now trying to link something together here. Right into the lateral press. Beautiful ring positioning. Wow, he almost got him.
Brandon Scott, he's still got to shake away those cobwebs. You can see TJay SYKES is moving slow too. He has taken some serious punishment himself. Both of these guys are a little worse for wear right now.
I'll tell you what, you know as well as I do that when you start when you start losing power in that lower back, it shuts your whole body down. It's hard to do anything.
Yes. And I mean, being a big guy myself, that's my bread and butter, being able to pick people up and throw them around. You can't do that. To quote the Machine, or to quote the Phenom, can't pick a man up, can't fight.
There we go. Oh, he went for that forearm drop. Brandon got that foot up at the last moment. Fisherman suplex. Oh, it is a beautiful bridge. This could be it.
Oh, wow. Shades of Mr. Perfect. That was gorgeous.
2 3/4 on that one, TJay.
You got to give it up to the champ. That's what that title means. Do you know how many people would have been able to kick out of that? Amazing.
I'll tell you what, very intelligent from the champion because he didn't try to use his body and his lower back to kick out of that. He used his fist to the rib cage of Brandon Scott.
Yeah.
You catch him in them floating ribs, and it caused him to let go of the hold in time for him to roll out. That was a beautiful, almost inverted escape. That lower back, I got to believe a few lateral presses. I mean, they're amplified in how hard there would be. TJay, nice backflip. Brandon answers with a backflip of his own onto his feet. Wow, unique forearm there.
Big kick to the belly, doubles him over. Another one stands him straight up. Catches that knee. Oh, wow. Almost like a ghetto blaster there.
This could be it. Wow, another near fall on Brandon Scott. Gets the shoulder up again.
These guys are going back and forth and back and forth. It's really hard to say that any one man has had any significant advantage for any period of time.
We actually have these fans here in Mount Storm arguing with a champ.
Yes.
I mean, they're split right down the middle. For Brandon Scott and TJay SYKES. These guys have given their heart and soul from bell to bell here. Well, we're not to the second bell, so the story's still to be told, but here we go, both men getting to their feet. Brandon Scott just trying to use those ropes. Beautiful duck under reversal. Oh! And this is going to be it.
It's kind of a sit-down vertical suplex into a power bomb. It was an incredible move.
Almost reminds you of that old Steiner driver. But he set out with almost a seated power bomb, inverted. Unbelievable. Beautiful execution there. It looked like Brandon almost got himself loose and got out of that. But, wow.
It's a great move and it's great impact. The only problem with a move like that is that when you land into it, you don't have your weight on your opponent. So it is easy if they're not knocked out to swivel a shoulder, and that's exactly what happened. So for German, he holds on tight. Got him in the corner.
And Scott now caught himself.
Wow!
Oh!
Nate's crusher from the second rope. He's got him hooked.
This has to be
One, two. Oh, wow. I thought that was it.
Oh.
I thought that was it. I was about ready to say new champion. I was going to ring the bell.
Everybody in this building has the same look on their face that Brandon Scott did when he kicked out. I'm losing my voice calling this match, Les.
That's all right. That's all right.
We've seen everything but the kitchen sink in this matchup, and this has been the epitome of what the Cruiserweight division has been all about since its very creation. When you look through the annals of time, Sanjay Dutt, Robbie Page, so many others, Brandon Scott himself.
And, of course, the current champion, TJay SYKES, who's been a phenomenal champion. And I hate to say
unbelievable. And now he's going for, it looks like a cross arm breaker there.
He's got him in a submission hold here, and he has got that wrist and elbow torqued. There's a lot of pressure. He's using his leg almost like a crossface.
Absolutely, it's almost an inverted Fujimura armbar, and he's got him. Look at the torque the elbow has there. He's got the wrist torque as well, and I got to believe that's putting a lot of strain on that shoulder, the rotator cuff there. I mean, he's hitting almost 3 notes there. You can see the torque on the elbow.
TJay's fighting. He's swiveling, and he gets to the ropes.
Very smart
He gets
move.
to the ropes, but boy, there's been a lot of damage done. And Brandon Scott, very intelligently, he held on to that 4 count. And, I can't blame him. That's what you do.
Absolutely. You take that arm out. I mean, he's already worked the lower back. I mean, he's picking him apart piece by piece. Very smart by the champion, though, because a lot of people instinctively, when somebody gets an arm like that, they're reaching for the rope with their other hand. He went right with the legs because he knew that he had at least another foot or 2 of length to reach that rope.
Yes. He used you're exactly
right. Ring positioning and presence is a huge thing. Here we go. Brandon Scott maybe going for that blockbuster.
Oh, big kick and another hard blow into that turnbuckle. His neck really whiplashed there.
Brandon, now the intensity in his eyes, and he may be going for that blockbuster. And there it is.
I've been there. That is it. That is it.
We have a new champion.
Oh, wow.
TJay SYKES just kicked out. I can't believe it. I cannot believe he just kicked. I've never seen anybody kick out of that.
I've been knocked out by that very move. I can tell you right now, I do not know where TJay SYKES got it from. I have to give all credit to the champion, man. I told you, this kid is not just somebody who comes out and dances and flashy. He's got a lot of heart, a lot of passion, and that elite pro cruiserweight title means the world to him.
Brandon Scott, now I got to believe the frustration is starting to take over. What else can he do? I mean, that's the move that he's won championships up and down the East Coast with, and now where do you go from here?
It's a wonderful
beautiful
reversal.
Slipped under the back door there. Oh, and he
really drove him down. He's going to get him.
Oh, and Brandon Scott with the shoulder up at the last second.
There have been some crazy near falls in this match machine. There's been some crazy near falls.
Unbelievable. Not only did he go face first, but did you see the torque on that knee as he swept it out from under him? It looked like it almost got locked in place. So I'll be curious to see if he's hobbling when he's getting up.
And right at the last second, he really pulled on that full Nelson, too, so that Brandon Scott's face and head took the brunt of that ring. And that ring is just hard wood and metal beams underneath of it. People think it's a trampoline. It is not. It is not a mattress. That is a very, very hard surface to land on face first.
We go with a leaping knee there.
Wow!
Unbelievable, that discus forearm right to the jaw. Beautifully executed.
We had 2 big knockout blows there. The big knee by TJay SYKES, the champion, and then the follow-up forearm, as you're saying, the elbow forearm. It was a great blowback. These guys are throwing strikes, man.
All right, we're starting to see a little bit of a eye-opening there from TJay. I thought he may have been knocked out cold. That forearm landed so beautifully, perfectly right across the jaw.
I think Brandon Scott was really on instinct right there when he threw that. I think that he was still, a little out of it from that knee.
I think both of these guys are going on fumes. I mean, not to say that they're exhausted, but you've got to be at this point.
Now they're digging deep, and they're throwing from the hip. They're really reaching deep for these.
You've definitely seen him escalate the intensity here with those closed fists. Brandon Scott is holding that knee.
Those big forearms, two forearms.
Absolutely, and both men using those ropes almost to keep them on their feet.
Oh, wow. Nice spinning kick. Big uppercut by Brandon Scott.
It's all TJay can do to stay on his feet. He's just locked his knees to try to keep himself up.
These two guys.
Brandon won't stay down. Brandon won't stay down. What else can these two men do? Two back elbows there. TJay charged the third time and took a shot to the gut. I think he thought maybe there was a forearm coming.
Sunset flip. 1, 2. He reverses it. Hooks him. Back to the sunset. This is a fast and furious action to call here. Brandon Scott sweeps the legs, floats over 1, 2. TJay Sykes kicks out.
On TJay now, the bigger man slides the backslide. Oh, and Brandon's out.
And into a crossface. TJay Sykes has got him in a crossface, and he is in the center of the ring. Brandon Scott is in the center of the ring. He is nowhere close to the ropes.
I'll tell you what, beautifully executed here. As you can see, TJay's both his wrists are covering the ice, so he couldn't tell where the ropes are if he wanted to.
Well, he spun it back.
Crucifix. He
That's
got
it. He got him.
He got him for the crucifix. Brandon went to reverse it. And he managed to hold him down for a 3.
It was
wow.
an incredible match.
It was a matter of time that one person, the slightest snafu.
And still, the Elite Pro Wrestling Alliance Cruiserweight Champion.
I'm practically speechless at this point, Brandon Scott. So disappointed, and after an effort like that, I can understand why.
I can too, but TJay Sykes did a great job of getting him into that crossface. He had him in the crossface, and he had Brandon Scott so focused on trying to get to the ropes to break that crossface, they rolled it into a pinning combination before no 1, 2, 3.